Dr. Doom just stopped Thor's hammer with 2 fingers. Not blocked, it stopped it. Thanos needed 6 Infinity Stones and still couldn't do that, so either Marvel just broke its own power scale on purpose, or Doom is holding a power he was never supposed to have. The trailer for Avengers, Doomsday, broke records within hours of release. Millions of views, a flood of frame-by-frame breakdowns, and one moment that stopped everyone cold. Dr. Doom catching Thor's Stormbreaker strike between 2 fingers like he was swatting a fly. That single image raised a question Marvel clearly wants us asking. How is Doom a man, however brilliant, however skilled in sorcery, casually shutting down an attack that even Thanos, wielding all 6 Infinity Stones, couldn't fully withstand? For comparison, this is the same kind of physics-breaking moment DC gave Superman in Zack Snyder's cut of Justice League, when he stopped Steppenwolf's axe without flinching. Marvel putting Doom in that exact pose is not an accident, it's a statement. To understand the statement, you have to understand what Dr. Doom actually is in the comics, and it's not just genius inventor. Victor Von Doom is often ranked alongside Reed Richards and Tony Stark for raw intellect, but layered on top of that is something most casual fans forget. He inherited sorcery from his mother, and his defining ability, the one that matters most here, is that he steals power from being stronger than himself. This isn't a one-off trait, it's a pattern going back decades. In Fantastic Four number 58, Doom steals the power cosmic directly from the Silver Surfer. In the original Secret Wars, issue number 10, he strips the power of the Beyonder, a literal god-tier cosmic entity. In Avengers, Children's Crusade, he pulls life force from Scarlet Witch and uses it to rewrite reality itself. And in Avengers number 8, he siphons a portion of the Phoenix Force. When it comes to theft on a cosmic scale, nobody in Marvel's roster has a longer resume than Doom. So the real question isn't whether Doom can steal power, it's whose power he stole this time to pull off a stunt that even Thanos couldn't manage. 3 names are circulating. The first is Love, Thor's daughter, resurrected by eternity itself, the literal personification of the Marvel time stream, meaning Love now carries a fragment of eternity's own power. The second is Franklin Richards, the baby at the center of Fantastic Four, First Steps, who displayed eternity-level ability by resurrecting his own mother, and who possesses power cosmic on par with Galactus. Doom has already been shown meeting Franklin in that film's mid-credits scene, which makes this theory more than idle speculation. The third name is Loki. Loki now holds the role of the temporal loom itself, sustaining every timeline in the multiverse, and carries time-slipping abilities that let him exist across the branches simultaneously, which is reportedly why Loki alone survived when Season 2 of his show should have ended with everyone erased. That's god-level power. If Doom absorbed it, a 2-finger block on Stormbreaker would barely register as effort. But there's a fourth possibility, and it's the one that lines up almost perfectly with the Superman-Steppenwolf comparison the trailer seems to be deliberately invoking. Marvel already has its own Superman analog introduced last year and largely overlooked since. His name is Bob Reynolds, the Sentry, and he's tucked into a corner of the Doomsday character poster, barely noticed, easy to miss. Sentry has already shown Superman-tier strength in Thunderbolts. If Doom is carrying even a fraction of Sentry's power, stopping Stormbreaker with 2 fingers stops being shocking and starts being expected. Then there's Steve Rogers, and something about him doesn't add up. His hairstyle looks pulled from Avengers, Infinity War. His expression is the real tell. In the Thor-focused trailer, this version of Steve looks stunned, almost disturbed by what he's seeing. But in another shot, he's smiling, the kind of easy, unguarded smile Steve Rogers has never worn on screen before, not even around his closest friends. One theory making the rounds is that this is Hydra Steve Rogers, a variant from an alternate timeline, Earth 6-1112, created by a sentient cosmic cube known as Kobek. In that reality, Hydra raised Steve from childhood and replaced the real Rogers, and he eventually led a Hydra takeover so convincing that Thor had to summon Mjolnir to test him. And Hydra Steve could lift it too, under a different set of rules. Whether this trailer version is that Hydra variant, or simply the real Steve Rogers who chose to stay behind in the past with Peggy Carter, one thing stands. Something about him feels deliberately off, and Marvel is building the Avengers Fantastic Four X-Men crossover around a Captain America the story hasn't fully explained yet. Now to the poster, because this is where the theory gets its strongest evidence. The centerpiece is a painted mural showing a mother and child, rendered with the same golden halo-lit reverence as classical religious art, cherubs included. Two readings exist. The first, this is young Victor Von Doom and his mother, Cynthia Von Doom, the sorceress in the comics who becomes enslaved to Mephisto after he grants her power to avenge her people, the same power that eventually passes down to Doom, and the reason he descends into hell every year to fight for her freedom. The second reading is the one gaining more traction, and it's the one this format needs to stay clear about. It's unconfirmed. It holds that this Doom belongs to a different universe entirely, one that becomes the first casualty of the incursions, an event where two realities collide and destroy each other. Trying to stop it, Doom loses his wife and son. Under this reading, the mural isn't decoration. It's a shrine, Doom elevating the memory of a dead family to something sacred, because their loss marked, for him, the beginning of the end of his universe. Below that mural sits a sphere, Doom's Earth, from another universe, 3 moons visible at its upper edge, wrapped in golden light and heavenly clouds. Doom stands apart from it with the posture of Atlas, carrying a world on his shoulders that he tried and failed to save. Beneath the golden light, everything shifts to darkness. A robed prophetic figure stands to the left, widely read as Doom's own self-representation, a man who now believes his lost world and family belong to a kind of heaven, while he alone remains in hell, walking through darkness to atone for a debt he could never repay. And then the detail that reframes the entire image. Doom's mask is in his right hand. He isn't wearing it. He's standing in front of this shrine unmasked, which means for this one frozen moment, we aren't looking at Dr. Doom. We're looking at Victor. In the comics, that mask has always represented the wall between the man and the myth. His ego, his obsession with perfection, his detachment from anything human. Taking it off here isn't just grief for a dead family. It may be shame a man confronting the version of himself capable of failing them, right before he puts the mask back on for good and lets Victor die, so Dr. Doom, multiversal conqueror, can fully take his place. Which brings us to Loki and the detail nobody expected. Loki should be bound to the Yggdrasil, the multiversal tree, sustaining every timeline. He shouldn't be able to leave. And yet, the trailer places him somewhere that looks unmistakably like Steve Rogers' house. The same location glimpsed in the Captain America teaser. Well, two theories compete here. The popular one, this is a flashback. Loki briefly stepping away before fully becoming the Loom, gathering heroes across timelines, Steve Rogers among them, possibly other anchor beings tied to the wider multiverse to prepare them for the collapse to come. The second, darker theory. Doom reached Loki first, dethroned him, and harvested the surviving branches of a dying multiverse to construct Battleworld. But Loki escaped with his time-slipping power intact, using it to assemble heroes capable of undoing what Doom has already set in motion. Every piece of this points the same direction. A villain built from stolen power. A hero who isn't behaving like himself. A god of mischief no longer sitting where he's supposed to be. Marvel has spent one trailer and one poster building 3 separate mysteries, and December 18th is when all 3 collide.